Large language models are very powerful tools, but if you learn how to properly ask it or request it to give you information, it could become an even more powerful tool because it could give you even better responses than you're already getting. And all prompt engineering is just being very good at asking these large language models questions in ways that they understand and give the best response. Now, the title prompt engineer sounds complicated, sounds like maybe you need some kind of a degree or education. You really don't. I'm going to take you from beginner to advanced in this one video. This is really all you're going to need. What I'm going to do is, first of all, explain to you how these large language models work, and then talk about the characteristics that make for a best prompt. And then the last part, I'm going to give you some tips on how to speed up the process and become an advanced prompt engineer. Now, if you jump right over to that part of the video, I'm okay with that, but please like the video, share it with some friends, make a comment or two. It keeps me going. I put a lot of time into these. Also, I will have PDFs to go along with all of the information I'm sharing. I want to give you everything that you need to become the best prompt engineer. So first, let me explain to you how these large language models like ChatGPT work. They are trained on billions of words from books, websites, articles, anything you can think of right off of the internet. But they don't understand what they read. They're not reading it the way that we humans read any of this material. They just learn and look for patterns, like how words usually appear together. So they don't understand words. They have no grasp of what words mean, only how they tend to be used. For instance, if I were to ask ChatGPT to write a spooky story about a cat in a haunted house during a thunderstorm, but ChatGPT doesn't read this like a human. What it's going to do is take every one of those words and break them down into numbers, sort of like a special code or language for ChatGPT. In other words, spooky might be number 94852 and cat might be number 32695. It's not thinking, it's just translating your words into numbers. And that process is called tokenization. It's tokenizing every word. Then the AI uses everything it's learned from all of the billions of words that it's been trained on and looks for patterns. So, for instance, spooky and haunted house usually goes with ghosts, flickering lights, creaky floors, or cat usually goes with meowing, curiosity, or thunderstorm, flashes of lightning. It begins to put the patterns together and then starts predicting what words likely come next. And not all words in the prompt are weighted equally. So, for instance, the more unique words are the ones that the large language model are going to focus on. Spooky, cat, haunted house, thunderstorm. That carries a lot more meaning. Words like a or in or about or no or during, those don't carry as much meaning in the prompt. This is why creating a great prompt is choosing only the words that matter. So once it has all that information, it starts creating the story one word at a time, guessing what likely comes next based on all of those strong word signals and past data. And this is where a well-structured prompt comes in, because the better the prompt, the better the result. So once again, there's no conscious thought. You could stop using please and thank you and all of that and just focus on the words that matter, because the large language model, all they're doing is predicting the next word. Now, this is also why we have AI hallucinations. Sometimes it predicts the next word incorrectly, but that's all it's doing. And even though it's very accurate, gets the answer right most of the time, it's not understanding. It's just predicting very well based on all of the words it's been trained on and the patterns associated with those words. Sort of like autocomplete, where as you text the word, the rest of the word pops up, only on steroids. Now let's get into the prompt tips. Here are the steps you should take. First of all, avoid unnecessary words. So many people use please and thank you, and they joke around that when we finally have generative AI consciousness, that the generative AI will remember them as the friendly people that were always kind to the generative AI. You could stop doing that. You could stop doing that. Every word that doesn't add value weakens your prompt. Period. Be clear, be concise, be direct. So, in other words, here's a bad prompt. Can you please help me maybe put together a kind of summary of our quarter 4 results for our leadership team? Now, it's bad because it's wordy, it's vague, it slows down the understanding, and it just clouds the task for the large language model. Here's a good prompt. Summarize our Q4 results in 4 bullet points for a leadership update. It's clear, it's concise, it just gets to the point. Every word has a value in that sentence request. That's how you should do it. Second, be descriptive. So you want to paint a clear picture, add context, add detail and specifics to help the AI generate what you truly want. So in other words, here's a bad prompt. Make a presentation for my team. Now the reason why that's bad, it's too general. What topic? How long? What format? So here's a good prompt of being descriptive. Create a 5-slide deck to show how generative AI can improve client response times in our firm. Far more descriptive, greater chance you're going to get the result you're looking for. Next, set audience and tone. You always want to define who the content is for and the style that you want. Do you want it funny? Do you want it serious? Do you want it formal? Do you want it professional sounding? So here's a bad prompt. Tell me about our AI plan. There's no clarity on who's it for or the tone needed. Here's a good prompt. Explain our AI adoption strategy in a confident tone for department heads. So we're giving clarity on what we're trying to accomplish here. We're explaining the audience, we're explaining the tone. We want it to sound confident. Next, use role play. This is a very powerful characteristic. We start with act like act like a lawyer, act like a doctor, or pretend you are, to set up a point of view or professional lens for the AI. So a bad prompt. What should I say to my staff? Lacks perspective and clarity on purpose? Here's a good prompt. Act like a CEO addressing the staff during a company-wide meeting about integrating AI tools. Now the generative AI is going to search all of the information that it has about all of the CEOs out there and how they've responded in the past on all of the material, the billions of words, and it's going to put together a better prompt for you. Use limiting words. Again, every word has value. Use limiting words. Words like only, focus on, or avoid help guide responses and reduce fluff or irrelevant details. Bad prompt. Give me some AI tools. Broad, directionless, what kind of tools for what? Here's a good prompt. List only customer service AI tools that can be implemented within 30 days and cost under $500 a month. Clear, precise. We're saying list only customer service AI tools. It allows the generative AI to focus in on what you truly want and then just lose the noise. Because again, it's trained on billions of words. There's a lot of information out there. So if you can simplify it for the generative AI tool, then you're going to get a far better response. Avoid negative phrasing. Words like don't, or not, or exclude are often ignored or misinterpreted. Instead, clearly state what should be included. Bad prompt. Don't include any tools that require monthly subscriptions. Now, that's a bad prompt because the AI may still include a bunch of monthly subscriptions because, again, it's weighting every word in that prompt. It's not necessarily connecting the don't with the monthly subscriptions. So a better way to do it is to say only include free one-time payment AI tools suitable for startups. It's far more effective to use a limiting phrase like only include. It's now going to focus in on what you're asking it for versus what you're not asking it for. Share examples. This is another powerful way to get the response that you're looking for, where you share examples of what you're trying to accomplish. Bad prompt. Create an ad for our marketing campaign. It's vague. The AI doesn't know your industry, your audience, your preferred style, nothing. Good prompt. I included 3 examples of ads we like. I included 3 examples of ads we'd like ours to look like. Create an ad for our marketing campaign, and here's our website for your review. Not only in this prompt are you sharing 3 examples, but you're also giving it your website to search your website, review your website, understand your business, understand your industry, and create a much better response. State the desired outcome, the result that you're expecting. Very useful for prompts. What's the final result that you want after this prompt is created? What are you trying to accomplish? Or are you looking to inform, persuade, create, summarize, solve? All of those things are very helpful. Bad prompt. Write about the need for ChatGPT in our business. Why is it bad? Does not specify what you want the reader to do or understand. Here's a good prompt. Write a persuasive email to convince partners to pilot ChatGPT internally. The goal is to gain their approval to proceed with the initiative. So ultimately, we're telling them, here's the result we want. We want the leaders to approve it so that we can proceed with the initiative of using ChatGPT internally. Clarify output length. ChatGPT, a lot of these generative AI tools could be very wordy, very lengthy, can give you the response perhaps in a format that you're not looking for. So be specific. If you want a paragraph, ask for a paragraph. If you want 5 bullets, ask for that. 100 words, however you want to do it. Clarify the output length. Here's a bad prompt. Tell me about CRM benefits. There's no length or structure given. Here's a good prompt. List 5 bullet points summarizing the key benefits of a CRM system for a construction company. And lastly, ask for formats. Request output as a list, charts, timelines, table, bullet points. So very useful. And they're so good at doing this. Add prompt. Break this information on the payroll software out for me. Terribly written, too, by the way. Why is it bad? It doesn't tell AI how to organize or display results. Good prompt. Create a table comparing 3 payroll software tools by price, support, and ease of use. Now, those are the prompt tips. They're all very logical, they're all very simple. And basically, the more descriptive you are, the cleaner the prompt, the fewer the unnecessary words that are in there, the better the response. All right, now that we've got that cleared up, let's talk about 3 advanced prompt tips. And like I said, you're going to go from a beginner to truly an advanced prompt engineer. It sounds like an important title. It's really not that hard to get there. Here's the 3 tips that are going to get you to the next level. First of all, chain prompts together to build complexity and depth. So you're breaking big ideas out into small steps that evolve with each new prompt. All we're doing here is breaking the prompt out into smaller portions. So for instance, if you were going to a company retreat and you're looking for ideas for event themes, you could start your prompt with, give me 10 event themes for my company retreat. Then the next prompt would be something like, which one would resonate best with my business? Once the LLM selects that, then you can go to number 3 prompt and say, and request something like, now build a full event schedule for that theme, or something like that. So you're just breaking it down into smaller pieces. Sometimes large language models get a little bit more confused as the prompts get larger. So by breaking them down into smaller pieces, you can get a better response. Number 2, you can refine prompts by asking the generative AI to reword them for clarity or impact. So you could just basically let ChatGPT help you get and create a better prompt. Here's an example prompt. Act as a world-class prompt engineer. Your job is to help me generate powerful, high-impact prompts tailored to my needs. First, ask me what I'm trying to achieve. Then, ask a few smart follow-up questions to clarify context, tone, tools that I'm also using, and my ideal output format. Make sure the prompt is clear, flexible, and easy to reuse. Boom. Done. I'm sure you're thinking, why didn't I just start with that? Well, I needed you to understand how to prompt first. But this is really all you need to do in order to become an advanced prompt engineer. Now, lastly, what you could do, you go to the next level and you can build a custom chatbot that automatically upgrades weak prompts. So you can use ChatGPT, the MyGPTs, create your own chatbot that already knows that's what you want. I want a better prompt. You put in your prompt, it rewrites your prompt, asks you a list of questions, and gives you the best version of that. And look at that. I already created it for you. That QR code right there. I will have this information in the show notes. All you have to do here is put in your prompt. It'll follow up by asking several more questions and then give you the best chance of getting the response that you were looking for in the first place. Now that's prompt engineering. You've gone from beginner to advanced in just this one video. I will have links to those slides that you saw so that you could refer back to them. And it takes me a lot of time to create these videos, edit these videos, and create the PDFs that go along with these videos. So if you could kindly like it, comment that it's given you value, because that keeps me going, and share it with your friends, that would be greatly appreciated. Good luck at prompt engineering.